What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Denise Salcedo. And today I am joined by one of AEW's newest additions. She is the toxic spider, Thekla. Thekla, how are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there because it's Thekla with the hard T.
Yes. Okay, right there, man. Okay, how many people say it a little differently? Is it all the
Dude,
time?
everybody, dude, it happens a lot, and it's totally fine. I don't like. I'm just messing with you. It's I understand it. It's a hard one. You read it like obviously T and H, and it just messes up your whole game, right?
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I think it's the just me. I'm like, I gotta read it like that, like Thekla.
I know,
It's
I know,
so
I know.
funny.
No,
Well,
so
I'm
it's
so happy to
so
have you
it's
on.
easy. So it's Thekla, and but if it makes it easier for you, just call me Tex. A lot of people just call me that, and they get just more confused because they're like, okay, are you from Texas or what's going on? What's up with the accent? Yeah,
You're like, what? We need to know your whole entire backstory right
yeah,
now.
exactly. So
I
yeah,
love that.
call me whatever you want, baby.
All right, so let's get right into it, man. It has been a phenomenal last couple of months for you since you joined AEW. Let's start right there. What has these last couple of months been like for you in your life, both professionally and privately, too? Because I'm sure so much has changed behind the scenes as well.
It's been really good. I can tell you, it's been really exciting. It's been everything I was hoping for, and I love being back in the States. I lived there briefly when I was 15, but that's a whole different story. Now I'm back here. America's crazy. America's fun. AEW is the same, really. It's exactly the same, crazy and fun. And yeah, it's good. I really can't complain.
Has it, I know you said you lived here in the United States before, but how is it like, having to change that because you were already getting used to where you were at and to go in and uproot your life? Every time I hear wrestlers say this, I'm always just like blown away about how people can just like move about and find new homes and, make a life.
That was really crazy because in Japan I was living there for 5 years, right? And then one day on the 27th of April, let's say, I left my house, and it was more or less still the same way it was. And I had my people come over and just take all the furniture out, just throw half of my stuff away, basically, give the rest away. So I came home and the place was almost empty. The next day I gave them back my keys, then I moved to a hotel for 3 days, and then after that straight to the States, into an empty apartment. So it was like in 4 or 5 days I changed everything and let go of 80% of what I was used to, and knew at the time. So
But
it's
that's
it's
it's scary, but it's exciting too, right?
it's very scary, it's very exciting, it's very liberating also, because you accumulate so much trash and so many, and also sometimes people you don't really need in your life. So it's always good to refresh and see what do I need, what do I not need, and also I love reinventing myself. I've been doing it since I was a kid. I moved a lot when I was young, so it's like that's something I'm used to. It's always scary and it always will be, but it you if you stay in your comfort zone forever, you never learn anything. So
That is
gotta do it.
100% true. And it feels like you could write a book on how many, you mentioned how many different places you lived and obviously being a professional wrestler. It's totally a different kind of it's not your ordinary 9 to 5 kind of job. I mean, God, like
Mm.
think of all the stories that you can tell already with just some of the experiences
Yeah.
that you've had.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I've had people come, like, I've had serious what do you call it, requests for people. They were like, that was already when I was in Japan, and it's like, well, we want to write a book with you. And it's like, cool. And then I was like, well, actually, I want to write it. So they was like, okay, bitch, yeah, whatever. So,
You're like, you're out of a
so yeah,
job. I'm writing
yeah,
this book.
exactly. So I was like, and then I started to write it, and then obviously wrestling comes. I can't have 3 jobs. I'm already doing the art stuff and the wrestling. And I was like, writing a book, yeah, maybe not, maybe give it, maybe midlife crisis. That's a good time to do that kind of stuff, I think.
Yeah, no, accumulate more stories and you still have so much more to tell.
Exactly.
Talk to us about that moment that you found out you were going to be signed to AEW and what it was like your first day walking in and a lot of people that you already knew, people you didn't know, all of that.
It was very exciting walking in there because I got picked up and I had no idea what was gonna happen. Was I already gonna, have to beat somebody up or or cut a promo or whatever? But it's like, no, I was backstage and I see all these massive people that I've seen on TV before or like heard about, and then a couple of faces I know from back in the days, and then it's like, I talked to, all the important people, and it's like backstage, and it all felt it to be honest, it felt very exciting, and it felt very like, okay, that's gonna be good because I know I can see, like, I move my head and I see 10 people that I want to just pick their brain immediately. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of place I like to be at. I'd like a big professional environment, and leaving Japan, that was a life that I enjoyed very much. I loved living in Japan. I loved working for Stardom. So saying goodbye to all of that and cutting my ties like that, like harshly, I was very, very, very pleased to come to, be backstage in AW and just smell that fresh air and be like, okay, that place might actually be worth leaving all of that behind me, so I was excited, and I stayed excited. I still am super excited.
Yeah,
It's
oh
really
my
cool.
gosh. I'm excited for you because just like the whole new adventure that comes with it, you're in a new territory facing so many new girls, and you have this very, very talented locker room, of course, all out.
Yeah.
In just a couple of days, you got a big matchup. And going into that with Chris and with Tony, and it's just one of those things, and Jamie, where you got so many talented women in this match alone, but also the entire roster, and they all have different backgrounds, different stories. What has that been like, sort of bonding and forming these relationships with the women backstage?
I think we do have a very talented roster. I think what I've never seen before is how much aura every single person has. Everybody has very distinct personality and move set and everything. I find that every time somebody come, like, as from a fan's perspective, I find it very interesting. We got these multi women's matches right now, and they're like, it's a bunch of stuff going on, and you either like them or you don't. I don't care. But the cool thing is when everybody comes out with their entrance, and each one is different. Everybody's vibe is different, but everybody looks like a fucking star. It's really cool to see. So I'm very excited and pleased to to be working with so many cool people backstage. It's really it's outstanding. It's not easy to come out with that, with that aura.
But you had that aura too, because when you walked in, everybody was like, "Who is this girl?" Like, for those that didn't know you or had just heard of your name, reputation preceded yourself when it came to you. So people were like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I'm interested. What is she all about?" And when you snapped in and you did that spider pose, everybody was like, "Oh, snap. Like, that is crazy." To get to see that kind of reaction, have you already found that you are, I would assume so, like already reaching these new audiences and getting this new added addition of fame?
So yeah, it's I was already kind of used to I knew that that would probably be a big thing, because it went viral when I was in Stardom, like me doing the pose and then the spear, all that stuff. And then a bunch of those videos where just people like, "Whoa, how do you even do that?" So while I have a wide set of moves. I knew, okay, when I first go out there, I'm probably gonna have to do that one because it's gonna be very over. So, but yeah, but the fame and the kind of stuff, I try not to be too interested in that. It's like I try to stay on the ground. It doesn't really bother me too much. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I do what I do. There's haters, there's lovers. Like, who cares? I have to be, it's so hard to please myself when it comes to my work. So when I get to, I get back to my hotel room or my bed, and I get to sleep well because I'm satisfied with my work. That is the number one thing, you know. And then plus maybe my colleagues and people backstage being like, that was awesome, you know. It's like, whew, you know, that's what I care about. So
You're like,
the
yes, I
same.
did a good job.
Yes, yes, you know, it's like I like to get respect from my peers, and I love my fans, but fans are fickle. I've seen them before, you know, they're fickle. So I don't so they you do one thing, they'll like boo, and then you do another thing, they'll go like yay, you know, it's like boo, yay, boo, yes. It drives you crazy, you know. I just want to
You're like,
sleep
did I
well at
win you
night.
over today? Did I win you over today or not?
Yeah,
Like, what's the deal
yeah,
with
you
us?
know, it's like it's I love it when they're happy, but when they're not happy, I can't kill myself over it. You know what I mean? Like I gotta stay tight, you know. So
Got to keep
that's what
moving.
matters. That's right.
I love that. Okay, so there's so much to touch on right now, and I do want to get into your thoughts heading into that big matchup, though, at All Out. Like, this is a massive opportunity. How do you prepare for these types of matches? Mentally, physically, all of that.
Mm, so I'm very excited about it because my three opponents are just all bad bitches, to be honest, you know. Like I'm a little scared of Jamie because she's been whooping my ass lately. So is Tony, you know. But I have, you know, it's I either get back, you know, get it back from when I whoop their ass, or vice versa. You know what I mean? But I think with the chemistry that the four of us are gonna have, we're all very different. You know, we all got different styles. I think it's gonna be a fucking crazy match and crazy display of talent. So mentally, yeah, I'm just as I said, I'm just being cool about it. You know, I try to I hit the gym every day. I try to eat well and not have too many cheat days in between, and then the rest of that is just staying you know happy and not being too I don't know, like having any expectations or shit like that. You know what I mean? I know I'm gonna be killing it, and I'm gonna be taking that gold home, girl. So
Yes, no, I feel it. I love, I gotta say, I love your energy. You're so just like, I'm gonna do me, and whatever
yeah,
happens, happens, and that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I have to tell you, by the way, you have officially completed the Triangle of Madness here on this channel because we've had Julia, we've had
nice.
Sky, and now we finally have you on here. So talk to us about what it has been like to be part of the Triangle of Madness and working with both Julia and Sky.
Madness has been great. I'm very happy to be working with those two. I think we're visually so good together. We've got undeniable chemistry when we walk down to the ring. I love what they do together. They're so good at doing their tag moves, and then I think I just put the cherry on top with whatever atrocities I you know I do to my to our opponents. So it's really cool. I love they're both very good when it comes to ideas and putting it all together. You know, I think we have very good chemistry. Super excited to see where we're gonna go with this. And I've been saying it before. You know, now it's a triangle, but who knows what kind of shapes we're gonna be growing into. You know, so it's cool. Yeah, I think we got the most potential right now to actually be a unit, you know, in AW or in all of wrestling, basically, to that can come up with some, you know, some hot shit.
When Sky was on, I told her, like, I was dying when I saw you guys form your group because to me, it was like, okay, we haven't had, first of all, it's sporadic here and there where we have female stables, but also like spooky girls. And I think she said, like, oh, yeah, the world can't get enough of these spooky bitches. And it stuck with me. I'm like, I love that. So getting to have that kind of taste on AEW, I feel like it really makes you guys unique on the show. Like, I
Yeah.
look at you guys and I'm going, I want to hang out with them. Like, they're cool. And that's what you guys bring to the show.
Yeah, I think nobody else can do it like us when it comes to that. And I didn't ever necessarily consider myself a spooky bitch, you know. But then again, it really I like the ring that it has to it, you know. Everybody's like, yeah, the spooky bitches, and I am standing in the middle of it. It's like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going with it. You know, it's
Own
cool.
it.
And, you know, it's like, yeah, we're standing in the middle of the ring, like, you know, like in a triangle, you know, holding hands and just looking up, and it's like spooky bitches, you know. But it's like, you know what? I'm enjoying it. It makes sense for us, you know. And it's, you know, while the two of them are really, you know, they're the spooky and I'm the bitch, you know. Basically, I think that's how it's working.
I love that. Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, all right? That's
You
all I
got to
got
do
to
what you got to
say.
do. It's all there. Yeah.
That's the moral of this interview, by the way. If you guys take
Yeah.
anything away, it's do what you got to do. That's it. Oh my gosh. I do want to rewind a little bit though and kind of talk about, some of the work that you did before AW, because if it wasn't for everything that you did before, that all led to this moment. Now,
Yeah.
in hindsight, seeing your career in Japan, like you said, you spent what, 5 years there? Looking back at that, God, like how do you see that time in your life?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I mean, it's such a roller coaster. I spent all of COVID there, you know. I was basically I spent so much time by myself, just living in a crusty little dojo room, you know, where I got regularly kicked out from, you know, just like working 20, 30 hours training at the dojo, you know, learning Japanese, and uh, and and then all of a sudden joining Stardom and getting that little push of fame, you know, and then injuries and ups and downs and like winning, losing, fuck, you know, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me being out there, you know. Without Japan, I would never be here, 100%. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. The spider, like the spider walk and the turn into the spear, I've been doing that since my first ever match in the Austrian underground, you know. So that's old news, you know. I've been doing that since my debut. But you know, refining my skills and getting the experience, that's all Japan, you know. And also the with all the challenges that come from living in another country that's so different from your culture, you know. For 5 years, you have like it's really challenge after challenge after challenge after challenge, you know. And you climb all of those mountains, and you come, you know, you're just like, yeah, all right, who's next? Yeah, you want to fuck with me? You know, it's really, I got that experience, and I got that self-esteem, you know. I've got that confidence. What are you gonna do, you know? So when I'm getting thrown in these hard-hitting matches here, I was a little bit like, okay, I thought I was done with the strong style, you know. I was like, can we take it? I mean, American style, I thought we're you know, we outsmart each other and shit, you know. I don't understand why I'm getting smacked in the face like that. Is it because I'm the new girl? Okay, I get it, you know. But wow, what you want? You know, don't fuck with me. So it's like I got the experience of from all these places, and I've got an unorthodox style myself, and I will adapt to whatever new environment I'm getting thrown into. So, and that's what I'm good at, and that's what I enjoy the most. So, Japan has has really prepared me for whatever's gonna come my way.
How do you earn respect in a place like Japan? Because when you're going in there and you're new, you just moved in and they're like, "Oh, like who is this girl? What she like she
Yeah,
wants to be one of us." But what
yeah.
does it take for somebody who's not from Japan to go in there and earn the respect from the girls that have been there already and are working and have their own traditions and whatnot?
Hard work, putting in the work, because I was the only one who showed up all like always. I mean, it helped because I lived at the place, you know, so but so I could sometimes I'd be like I would be so sore, I'd be so tired, you know, and I'd be living on the second floor, and on the first floor was the ring, you know. And I'd try to like, please give me a break, you know, but I could hear the ring bounce, you know, and people like girls screaming like ich ni san, you know, doing like the warm-ups and stuff, you know. And I'd be like, fuck, and I'd be putting my wrestling shoes on. It's like, okay, next round, you know, just like, and that gets over with the people, you know. I was just relentlessly working on my stuff, you know. And I would always sprinkle in my take on it, you know, just the way I think. Even though other people don't do it like that, I always have to do it my way. And sometimes that that comes out and looks a little silly, and sometimes it's just fucking it's art, so, and people see when they see that, and you can do something that they can't do, or you come up with something that they could never come up with, that earns you respect. And on top of that, I was always interested in Japanese culture. And I just started to pick up the language. I would, after every wrestling show, after all the little dojo shows we were doing, I'd rush back up to my room because 9 p.m. I'd already have my Zoom class, and I'd be learn, studying Japanese and have to show my homework and shit, so after 2 years, I'd be speaking Japanese, So if that not perfect, but I could hold myself in a conversation with drunk people at least,
That's
at
good
least. Yeah, good enough in my book, at least. So so that earns you respect. People, they'll be like, wow, that girl is very interested in our culture. That girl is Japanese people are very hardworking, so, and they have fighting spirit to the max, so you can't really, they will go down with you, before they go, before they let you win, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's that Japanese fighting spirit. I had that before, and I kept it throughout all the challenges, plus the work ethic, and third was my love for the culture, and that combination um, really got me over there and earned me respect, I'd say.
Well, hearing you talk about this, honestly, I got to give you kudos because it sounds terrifying. Like, you got to have a lot of,
Yeah.
first of all, guts to do that and to go out there and put yourself out there in that kind of scenario and to work, not just mentally. Mentally is one thing, but the physical part of it, it really takes a lot, and not everybody can do that. So, hearing you say that, man, that's freaking awesome. Before we were almost out of time, but I do got two more questions for you. One of them is about the
Sure.
past, and one of them is about the future. In regards to the past, how did your fandom start for pro wrestling?
My fandom when I
Yeah.
became,
Yeah, like
oh,
how'd you decide? Like when'd you become a
yeah.
fan? How'd you decide to go into this journey?
All right. I was 18 or 19, and I was a massive fan of music, punk music, heavy metal. I'd go to all the good shows around my block, and then my favorite venue, they had something in between of a wrestling and a punk show. They had like cross punk band play in the back, and they put up a ring, and there was like 1,000 something people, and they were watching this crazy wrestling match, and I was right in the first row, and hidden on the mat. I was like, what is this? It's like most extreme, crazy, dramatic fucking um showcase. You had like crazy characters like Boris the Butcher with I tell the story all the time, but he had a fucking dead chicken, just like from supermarket, like a whole thing, and he used that as a weapon. He was just beating his opponents with the chicken, and it started to fall apart, and there was parts flying in the audience. People were throwing parts at each other. It was really extreme, and I was like, this is wrestling? This is awesome. What the fuck is this? It really left an impression on me, and I was like, I started to watch a little bit of WWE. It was my first contact with wrestling, right? So I watched WWE, joined the Austrian underground wrestling. It was tiny. Nobody gives a fuck about wrestling where I'm from, really, Or let's say the scene is very small, but I was like, you know what? I mean, I was going to art school. I was playing in punk bands, and I was like, I think if I add wrestling to the whole thing, it will be complete, So, and then I've, it was, I had my debut. It was the most natural thing to me. It was the most fun thing I could think of, and it became my favorite hobby at the time. And when I understood that I could bring my interest and love for Japan, together with wrestling, and so I was like, yeah, maybe that's something I should do. It was the most interesting and exciting thing I could think about, working as a wrestler in Japan. So, and then I had my fourth match ever I had in Japan in the undergrounds over there, and I liked that, so, and survived that. So I was like, okay, well, maybe we can take this further. And then I saw, was right after my debut or something. I think that's when AEW started, and I was already like, had my eye on it. Like, I tell my friends, like, yeah, guys, maybe you might be seeing me over there at some point. Just saying, just so we got that on record. and we do have it on record. So they're like, she said it, she did it. Kudos to her. So yeah,
Manifestation at its finest. That's incredible. I love hearing that, honestly. All right, my last question for you. It's the question I ask to everybody, and that is your
yeah.
goals, short term, long term. What are they in and out of wrestling?
AEW domination. That is the
Yeah.
plan. Yeah, takeover. Yeah, that is in wrestling for sure. I wanna like manifest the way I think things should be done. I want to be on top where I can really be creative and choose the people I get to fuck up, and and just have fun with it, and how do I say that in English? Like imply the way I see the world. You know what I mean? It's like
Yes, yes.
and
Put
and
your
and I
vision out there. Get your
to
vision out
exactly
there. Yeah.
exactly that's what I mean. And that's for AW. But also, I mean, I'm always excited for surprises. So wherever it's gonna take me, I'll be going. You know what I mean? Um, for for my life outside of wrestling, I still got my art going. There'll be some major announcements coming up very soon, which I'm very excited for. So as even though I've been only focusing on AW and wrestling these past couple of months, at some point I will probably get back to like you know painting and drawing and doing like my exhibitions too. So that kind of stuff. Yeah, watch out for some news on that side.
I
And that's
love
that's
that.
it. Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh my God, you're so awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. It was
Thank
just great
you.
getting to know you so much more. Please tell the people where they can follow you, support you, and check out all of your work.
Toxic underscore Thekla, Thekla, hard T. You find me on Instagram, on Twitter, and whatnot. Check out the new Hey EW with RJ. I think that was, if you haven't seen it, I think that was very funny and very fun. And if you want to learn some more about me, that's great. Other than that, stay off the internet, bitches. Do something with your life.
On that note, thank you so much to everybody watching. Thank you. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.